How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korban Gaming, and welcome back to this week's DragonFable release. So for this week, we have a few new changes. Of course, we have the continuation of the main storyline, which is part of the 6-Hero Saga. But before that, let's go through some very interesting stat changes as provided by Valerius. So at the start of the week, Valerius actually came out with two proposals for changes to dexterity because number one, dexterity is pretty weak in the current meta, and it is overshadowed by strength. I mean, strength and intelligence are clear winners when it comes to stat distribution. That leaves dexterity a bit lacking, so they decided to do a bit of change. So the first proposal that Verly actually had for us was that but before I get into that, there's some small updates. So corrupted Doobie Pop time shifts tooltip say used up to 4 momentum. This was a typo. Time shifts tooltip now properly references the 6 momentum max. Shadow Walker of Time fixed an issue where the Gears of Time skill did not need to hit to properly apply its effect. Fixed an issue where Legion Crawler could cause the game to lock up if it defeats a character. Fixed an issue in the Exaltia Tower where the remove consumable effect was not functioning properly, and other miscellaneous fixes like redundancy checks and safety catches. Alright, so due to popular demand and of course player feedback from both his Twitter and of course the DragonFable Discord, Verly has decided to sort of buff dexterity and maybe nerf strength a bit. So the first proposed change was that stun applied to the player will have a base 50% chance to take effect. This means that when you are immobilized, you have a 50% chance to be unable to act. Immo resist will only affect the initial chance of the effect application once the immo effect is applied. Immobility resistance will not have an effect on the 50% chance, and its effect applies to enemies and guests will still have a base of 100% chance of taking effect. Dexterity will now additionally reduce the chance of immobility effects. This is not the chance for a stun to apply. This is only after a stun has been applied. And dexterity will reduce the chance to a minimum of 10% at 400 dexterity. Enemies will also receive this bonus. However, they will have a minimum of 60% chance at 400 dexterity. Now, the second proposal is that stuns remain the same. Dexterity loses its glancing blow damage reduction effect. Dexterity gains an effect where per every X points of dexterity, a certain amount of immobility resistance is bypassed. For example, if you have 200 dexterity, you'll be able to bypass 40 immobility resistance, and this will stack with any other minus immobility resistance effects. The same way that strength's bonus immobility resistance stacks. So the first proposal, in my opinion, it is very complicated, and in my opinion, it is just not worth implementing. It's not only complicated for both the players and on paper, it also does seem like it is a bit more work for Verly. So nobody was a fan of the first proposal. More people were fans of the second proposal, whereby dexterity loses its glancing blow damage reduction effect, but instead gains a new special ability whereby it can bypass immobility resistance. In my opinion, I think this is not that great because for monsters that you actually want to stun, which are boss monsters, they usually have a crazy ton of immobility resistance. So being able to bypass 40 immobility resistance at 200 dexterity, of course this is not the final numbers, it just doesn't seem useful at all because boss monsters usually have like 200 or 1000 immobility resistance. So what even is the point of this? As for regular monsters, well, you usually just burst them down. Why would you even take the time to go and stun them? So I don't think I'm not a fan of these two proposals. Personally, my idea, which I tweeted Valerius on Twitter, as well as suggested in the Discord, was that to reduce the glancing blow's damage effect, meaning glancing blow actually reduces even more damage for more dexterity you have. At the same time, it also adds a BPD for like it adds 1 point of BPD to like maybe every 20 or 25 points of dexterity that you have, similar to how luck adds 1 point of MPM for every 25 or 30 points of luck that you have. I think that will make dexterity better, but instead Valerius didn't really take into account my opinion. Of course, the staff can decide to do whatever they want. This is their game after all. So Valerius has instead decided to go ahead with the second proposal, which is more welcome from the majority of the player base. They seem pretty okay with that. So it no longer affects. So now the final change for, at least for now, for dexterity is that Glancing blow damage has been reduced to 10% of normal damage, down from 25%. And dexterity no longer affects glancing blow damage. So no matter how much dexterity you have, glancing blow damage will still be the same. And dexterity now allows your skills to bypass dexterity over 5 immobility resistance. So if you have 200 immobility resistance, you would be able to bypass 60, 50, 40, yeah, 40. So they are using the numbers that they did before. Enemies 40 immobility resistance. Enemies with dexterity can also bypass your immobility resistance using the same formula. So immobility effects will now notify you when they are applied rather than when they are resisted. Just a small quality of life change, blah blah blah, you guys can read that. Now, this is, in my opinion, I think dexterity is still a little bit underpowered. If they added the BPD thing inside it, maybe it'll be just nice, or maybe dexterity might be overpowered. I don't know, but MPM is obviously better, which is used in the luck stat. BPD not as great, but still good nonetheless. So strength is nerfed. Strength no longer applies a multiplier to all stat damage, and now increases damage done by non-critical attacks by strength over 25 damage. So previously at 250 strength, attacks would gain approximately 12.5 damage per hit from the strength multiplier, and this damage will also be multiplied when considering critical hits. Now at 250 strength, attacks that do not critically hit will gain 10 damage per hit from the strength bonus. Critical hits will not have this bonus damage added in. So what that means is that for regular attacks, if you have maxed out strength, it will do a little bit less damage. And for critical attacks, strength will no longer be a factor in how much critical damage that you do. So you guys can read on here. This is basically just an explanation and what the stats currently do right now. So I'm still not a big fan of being able to bypass immobility resistance with the dexterity stat, because 40 immobility resistance at 200 dexterity, that is still not worth it in my own personal opinion. So yeah. Okay, so next up we have some fixes. Fix the pair of disembodied knights in Book 3 Falcon Reach. Fix the bug where completing the quest Forest Hunt from Simone's Castle will lead to a black screen. And fix the bug where critical hit bypassing BPD defenses would not apply on hit specials. And here are some updates as well. Adjusted initial character loading sequence to reduce and hopefully eliminate loading stalls. So I have been noticing quite a lot of loading stalls recently right after I just log in and select my character, so hopefully that fixes it. Ruby the Adventure Chef in Book 3 Falcon Reach now sells upgraded Zard Cuisine options. Zard Cuisine Plus applies stuff for 10 turns, down from 30, that's nice. And Ruby now also sells Moglin Berry Candy, which increases immobility resistance by 50 for 2 turns and stuff for 10 turns. So that is great against bosses that can stun, so really nice to see. Also, gas no longer affect enemy HP, however they will still increase enemy damage. That, I would say, it's a small buff to the charisma stat to encourage people to sort of invest points into charisma and maybe like use a Beastmaster build, since they technically don't even exist inside of DragonFable. So I'm hoping to see a bit more buffs to charisma after this. Maybe some tweaks to dexterity, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the combat changes. Now, on to the main quest, 6 heroes. After taking on Felwyn as your apprentice, you encountered Faust, the mysterious fighter from the Tournament of Champions, and became curious about his origins and power. This week, head over to Ash in Book 3 Falcon Reach to continue the 6 hero stories with this week's quest, Reminiscence. So let us check out the new updated Zard Cuisine first. Ooh. Zard Tate, Zard Legs Plus, Zard Burger Plus, yeah, Zard Cakes Plus, Zard Kebab, Moglin Berry Candy. Yeah, so that's pretty nice to see. Okay, so instead of 30 turns of cooldown from start, it's now only 10 turns. So whoops, I have to head over to Ash. So let us summon our pet dragon first and onward. 6 heroes. Right, of course you need to have completed all the quests beforehand before you can actually attempt this quest. So last we left off, if I remember correctly, Faust was about to tell us about his sort of childhood story and his background. So he was different. You must be joking. He loved to fight. It was all he lived for. Stop. That's enough. Oh wow, I beat you. Now stop. She was the first person to ever defeat me. She was odd. Look, Faust, it's smaller and less restrictive than a cravat. I'll call it a necktie. Your fashion sense is as odd as ever. I don't understand. Why do you keep talking to me? Well, you always seem so lonely. I think you just need someone to talk to, you know. It wasn't long before we became the best of friends. I brought you nourishment. Faust, you can't steal food. It's not stealing if it's through trial by combat. But what am I going to do with you? My parents died when I was very young, so Faust is like the family I never had. He's very special to me. Alright. So we have a nice love story between Faust and Sophie, and let's see what happens to Sophie's face. So, okay. Chancellor, that's the one, Lysander. I want her gone, erased. I should hardly think one girl is worth the effort. Silence, I don't donate to your organization for you to make small talk. It's appalling, a peasant like her with a face like that. No vessel of mine should be more beautiful than I, and therefore you've enlisted my services, correct? That's right, it's time to make an example of these peasants. You burn an entire village just to get one girl. Should I care about the ants beneath my heel? You're a cruel man, Chancellor. Wow. One day soldiers came for us in the middle of the night. What they wanted, I'll never know. What's happening? I don't know, stay close to me. The villagers had always been kind to us. They never treated us differently because we were orphans. And just like that, they were all gone. There they are. Oh wow. Faust, that's the one. Dispose of her. Oh my. What in the world? Oh. And Sophie, hold on. No, no. You dare defy me? Me, you stupid girl. And whack him in the face with a head. Enough, just burn like the rest of them. Oh my. Whoa. No. Oh my god, that was an eerie scream. I clicked a bit too fast. So you guys can play through the quest yourself and hear that for yourself. So, wow. Oh my gosh, and I assume Faust proceeds to beat the living daylights out of that fat dude. So, yes he does. Okay. Oh my. I don't remember much from that night, only that I was in pain. A lot of pain. Oh wow, that is kind of sad. Alright. It was agonizing. And oh goodness. Sophie, please. Interesting. You exceeded all my expectations. Get away. Don't worry, I have no interest in harming your friend. On the contrary, I should thank you. Eliminated the Chancellor for me and saved me the effort on my part. I wonder, to defy fate at such a young age, the two of you, will you change the world someday? If so, then I look forward to it. Until then. Oh wow. That is and you can see, is that tears on Felwyn's face? I've had a lot of trouble breathing since that night, and sometimes the pain is too much to bear, but I'm still alive thanks to Faust. I'm still here. I've been searching tonics and potions, tinctures and ointments, anything and everything to help Sophie. And after all these years, I finally found what she needs. There's just one ingredient left. Oh wow. Okay, so I wish I didn't have my helm equipped to see the expression of my hero's face, but I thought I told you to stay at the villa. Apologies, my lord, your safety is paramount. And here we have Lysander in our present day and age, no matter, and so the wheel of fate turns. So will Faust get what he wants? Is it from uh is it from the rose? And I wonder, if we know magic to some extent and we know Warlick, can't we just get Warlick to cure her? Loopholes, but okay. Is there any way you and Felwyn can help? Oh wow. Okay, so that was a really touching story, and it's just a short cutscene, I guess. There's no reward or anything, but just a continuation of the 6 Hero saga. And oh no, I really like it. Book 3 has been really dark so far, I must say, with the death of uh the our innkeeper, and of course with all the events that's happening right now. But I have to say the story has been more captivating than ever, and I absolutely love the story that's going on in book 3. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this week's release. If you have, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more such future content. Till the next time, this has been Korriban Gaming. Peace out.